She laughed in my face. You'll regret not choosing me. When I chose her sister, I just said, we'll see. Later, when she was arrested for stalking us and lost her nursing license, the only regret I felt was not cutting her off much earlier. I'm 29 male. I first met Isabel, 27, and her older sister Veronica, 30, about a year and a half ago at a mutual friend's housewarming. Both of them were attractive, funny, and easy to talk to. Veronica was the loud, center of attention type. Always had a wild story, always in the spotlight. Isabel was quieter, more observant, but had this razor-sharp wit that would slip in at the perfect moment. She never spoke just to fill silence, but when she did, it landed. That night, the three of us exchanged numbers along with a handful of others from the group. Nothing romantic, just new additions to the friend circle. Over the following months, we all ran into each other regularly at group hangouts. It became clear, though, that both sisters were interested in me. At first, I thought I was imagining it, but Veronica's behavior left no doubt. She was bold, too bold. Constant texts, showing up at places I hadn't told her I'd be. Always trying to separate me from everyone else at parties. She worked as an ICU nurse and would send me selfies in scrubs with captions like, "Saved a life today. What did you do that mattered?" I didn't know how to respond to that kind of flex. Isabel was different. We talked about real things. She remembered small details I'd told her weeks earlier. She was finishing a master's in library science while working at a bookstore. We bonded over old sci-fi books most people had never even heard of. And we shared the exact same coffee order. Oat milk Cortado, no sugar. That small connection meant more to me than Veronica's constant attention grabs. Looking back, my mistake was not shutting down Veronica more directly. I tried to keep her at a polite distance, assuming she'd eventually understand I wasn't interested. She didn't. 6 months in, Isabel and I were spending more and more time together. Nothing official, but anyone could see we were essentially a couple. Veronica must have noticed, because her behavior became more extreme. She started bumping into me at my gym, my grocery store, even places so random I knew she had to be tracking my routine. She began tagging me in Instagram posts about dream couples and sending me late-night texts. The situation hit a breaking point at their dad's 60th birthday party. Both sisters had invited me separately, which I should have realized was trouble. I went anyway because I cared about Isabel and liked their family. Halfway through the night, Veronica cornered me in the kitchen. "So, when are you going to stop playing games?" she asked. "What games?" "This thing with Izzy. You're just using her to make me jealous." "That's not what's happening. She's boring. You need someone with drive, someone who matches your energy." "I think Isabel matches me perfectly." That was when her expression shifted. Like someone had flipped a switch. "You're making a mistake." "I don't think I am." She gave this unsettling laugh. "You'll regret not choosing me." I forced a smile and said, "We'll see." My stomach was in knots. That same night, I told Isabel I wanted us to be exclusive. She said yes, and we agreed we should break the news to Veronica together. The next day we met her at a coffee shop. Public setting, Isabel's smart idea. "Veronica, we wanted you to hear it from us," Isabel started gently. "Nolan and I are together." Veronica stared at me like I'd slapped her. "Is this a joke?" "No. You're seriously choosing her over me?" "It's not about choosing. I tried." "Yes, it is." She slammed her hand on the table. People turned to look. "And you're choosing wrong." "Veronica, please." Isabel tried to step in. "Shut up, Izzy. This is between me and him." She turned her glare back on me. "I'm giving you one chance to fix this." "There's nothing to fix. I'm with Isabel." Her face softened into a smile, but it wasn't kind. "Your loss. But when you realize she can't give you what I can, don't come crawling back. I won't be waiting." Then she walked out. Isabel and I just sat there stunned. She whispered, "That actually went better than I expected." How wrong she was. At first it was petty games. Veronica would like every single photo on my Instagram, except the ones with Isabel. She sent bizarre texts at 3 a.m. "Did you know the human heart can keep beating outside the body for several minutes?" Creepy, but not technically illegal. Then it escalated. She started appearing everywhere I went, coffee shop, hiking trail, barber shop, always pretending it was coincidence. Isabel tried talking to her. Their parents tried. She insisted we were paranoid, that she was just living her life. Then came the gifts. Bouquets delivered to my office with notes like for what could have been. A watch engraved with "Time will tell" V. A framed lingerie photo mailed to my apartment. I kept everything, screenshots, photos, texts, because something in my gut told me I'd need evidence. 3 months into my relationship with Isabel, we planned a quiet weekend at a cabin 2 hours away. No one knew except her parents. Saturday morning, Veronica showed up in full hiking gear. What a coincidence. "I love this trail," she said. "There are no trails. This is private property," Isabel shot back. "I didn't know. Just lucky, I guess." "Veronica, you need to leave," I said. "It's a free country." "No, it's not. Leave or I'm calling the police." She gave that same unsettling laugh I'd first heard at the birthday party. "You call the cops on me? Your future sister-in-law? You're not my anything. Go now." She left, but not before dragging her keys across my car. Luckily, the cabin had cameras, and I caught it on video. I filed a police report that same day. That was only the beginning. After that, I filed for a restraining order. Based on all the records I'd kept, the judge granted a temporary one. Veronica was served at her job. That was the moment I realized just how far gone she really was. Apparently, her supervisors didn't take it well. But here's the truth about restraining orders. They only help if the person they're aimed at actually respects them. Veronica didn't. It started with burner phones. Every couple of days, I'd get a message from a new number. Sometimes it was begging me to talk, sometimes threatening. One said Isabel couldn't protect me forever. Another came with disturbing photos of hospital gear captioned with things like, "I know how to use this in ways you can't imagine." I reported each one, but the police said unless it was a direct, actionable threat, their hands were tied. Then she found a loophole. She wasn't allowed near me, but the order didn't say anything about my co-workers. Suddenly, she was a regular at my office building. She'd chat up the receptionist, security, even my boss when he stepped out for lunch. She'd play the concerned sister-in-law role. To my boss, she claimed I had a drinking problem. To security, she said I was abusive toward Isabel. To the receptionist, it was a gambling addiction spiraling out of control. None of it was true. But each lie forced me into humiliating conversations to explain. Thankfully, my boss was understanding, but the damage to my reputation was real. After that came the packages. A delivery of wilted flowers to my desk. A box crawling with live crickets sent to my apartment. A funeral arrangement sent to my parents with a card reading, "Sorry for your loss." He could have had so much more. Every order placed through different vendors, prepaid cards, impossible to trace directly to her. Meanwhile, Isabel was suffering her own torment. Veronica was still her sister. She kept turning up at family dinners, crying about how misunderstood she was, painting herself as the victim. Their parents didn't know what to do. Support Isabel, while also refusing to abandon their other daughter. And Veronica's messages to me grew sharper, creepier. "Saw you at Kroger in that red shirt. Looked good on you. Your code review ran late again. Time management, man." "Isabel leaves for class at 8:15. That's a lot of time for you to be alone." She was watching us constantly. I installed cameras all over my home, changed my routes, varied my schedule, but she always seemed to be one step ahead. The turning point came from someone unexpected. Jasmine, one of Veronica's coworkers. She reached out to Isabel through Facebook, saying she had to meet us immediately. We met her at a quiet restaurant. She looked terrified. "I could lose my job for this," she said. "But I can't stay quiet anymore." She explained that Veronica had been abusing her access at the hospital. She'd pulled up my medical records. Isabel's. Even my parents'. Total HIPAA violation. Serious federal crime. But that wasn't all. Veronica had been stealing supplies, drugs, syringes, medical tools. Jasmine admitted she didn't know what Veronica planned to do with them, but she'd seen her stockpiling. My stomach dropped. Isabel clutched my hand. "Why didn't you report it?" I asked. I tried, Jasmine said. But she's close with our supervisor. They go out drinking together. It's my word against hers. She's been there longer. Nobody would listen. Then she pulled out her phone. She'd started recording their conversations. And those recordings were damning. Veronica bragged about accessing our records, following us, even casually mentioning she had medical supplies at home, just in case I need them for something special. We took everything straight to the police. This time they acted. Detective Morrison took over. This is stalking, harassment, HIPAA violations, and theft of controlled substances, she said. We can build a case. They placed Veronica under surveillance. It didn't take long. She broke the restraining order again, following me to a client meeting. They arrested her right at work, in the ICU, in front of her colleagues. But even that wasn't the end. Her parents bailed her out, putting their house up as collateral. That very night, I woke up to 73 missed calls from dozens of unknown numbers. I ignored them. Then I caught a whiff of it, gasoline. Someone had soaked my porch in it. They hadn't lit it, but the message was clear. I dialed 911 immediately. Police came, collected samples, pulled security footage. The figure on camera was masked, but the height and build matched Veronica perfectly. That's when I realized this wouldn't stop unless something major happened. And I was right. The gasoline attack escalated things to attempted arson, which becomes a federal charge when tied to interstate stalking. She had followed us across state lines to a wedding. That brought in the FBI. With Detective Morrison, they got warrants for her home, car, electronics. What they uncovered was chilling. Hundreds of photos of me, Isabel, my family. Detailed notes about our routines, preferences, weaknesses. A full journal outlining why I belonged with her instead of Isabel. Passages prosecutors later read in court included things like, "He ordered the same coffee as me today. He's thinking about me. Wore blue. My favorite color. That's a sign. I could make him so much happier than boring Izzy. If something happened to her, he'd need me." That last one sent shivers down my spine. The stolen medical stash was there too. Syringes, surgical tools, enough sedatives to drop a horse. Her laptop revealed search history that made the courtroom go silent. How to make someone love you. Is it illegal to GPS track someone? Sodium pentothal purchase. How to frame someone for abuse. Accidental insulin overdose symptoms. She was arrested again. This time no bail. She was classified as both a danger and a flight risk. Her nursing license was suspended on the spot, and the hospital fired her the same day. Turns out they'd been building their own internal case for the missing meds, but the FBI raid sealed it. Her trial was scheduled for 6 months later. And in the meantime, more nurses came forward. Jasmine hadn't been the only one who noticed Veronica's disturbing behavior. 3 others told similar stories. When everything first started unraveling, Veronica's behavior at the hospital had already become alarming. She was constantly bringing me up during her shifts, talking about me in ways that made colleagues uncomfortable. She even asked other nurses to cover for her, so she could slip away early and follow Isabel and me around. Some of the things she said were chilling. Remarks about what she'd do if Isabel weren't around, or boasting that she knew which medications could cause an accidental overdose. The nursing board didn't wait for the criminal case to run its course. They opened their own investigation and scheduled a hearing. I had to testify, as did Isabel, our friend Jasmine, several nurses, and even a few patients who had lodged complaints. Patients recalled her being distracted, making unsettling remarks, and one testified that while Veronica was adjusting in 4, she casually said that not everyone deserves the love they get, and that accidents happen in hospitals all the time. That sealed it for the board. They revoked her nursing license permanently. No probation, no reinstatement, no second chances. When the decision was read, Veronica lost control. She screamed in the hearing room, accusing us of destroying her life after everything she had given to helping others. The board chair calmly told her that her actions showed total disregard for professional boundaries and for patient safety, that she was a danger to the public. As security escorted her out, she turned and stared at me, mouthing the words, "This isn't over." Legally, though, it was. By the time the criminal trial came around, the outcome was almost predictable. Her attorney tried to paint her as a woman who was hopelessly in love and had gone too far out of heartbreak. But the evidence was overwhelming. Stalking across state lines, repeated violations of a restraining order, theft of controlled substances, HIPAA violations, harassment, attempted arson. 17 separate counts. Investigators had found she'd looked up information on anyone even remotely connected to me. The jury found her guilty on every charge. The sentence was 5 years in federal prison, with mandatory psychiatric treatment, and a lifetime ban on contacting me, Isabel, or any of our families. Her parents sat through the trial in shock. Her mother broke down crying when prosecutors read from her journal entries that detailed how she fantasized about eliminating obstacles. Her father couldn't even lift his eyes to look at her. At sentencing, Veronica made one last statement, claiming she did everything out of love, blaming Isabel for manipulating me against her. Then she promised that when she got out, the truth would come out. The judge, unimpressed, tacked on another 2 years for the threat. 7 years total. She'll be 37 when she's released. Her nursing career is permanently gone, her family has effectively cut ties, and she'll carry a felony record for life. All because she couldn't accept rejection. It's been a year since she was sentenced, and I wanted to share a final update. Isabel and I are doing well. Better than I thought we could be, honestly. Therapy, both individually and together, helped us process the trauma, and in strange ways it brought us closer. We moved into a new apartment, kept the address secret for months, even from family, until we felt safe. Isabel's parents understood. They were dealing with their own guilt for not recognizing how unstable Veronica really was. Eventually, they sold their home. Some of it tied to bail money they'd lost, but mostly because they couldn't bear the memories. They've since relocated a couple states away, and are trying to rebuild their lives. Isabel has thrived despite everything. She finished her master's degree and now works at the university library. She's channeling her experience into a research project about stalking and the ways institutions fail to protect victims, particularly how healthcare workers sometimes misuse their access to sensitive information. She wants to help prevent others from going through what we did. As for me, I left the startup world behind for a fully remote position at a larger company. Better pay, less stress, and no office address for anyone to show up at. After what happened, I realized I had developed anxiety about being predictable, about going to the same physical space every day. Working from home gives me peace of mind. We got engaged last month. I proposed quietly at home, just the two of us. Some people thought we should wait, but after surviving all this, we knew what mattered. The wedding will be small, 20 people at most, with security on site. We've accepted that this is just part of our lives now. Veronica will never know about it unless she somehow hears after the fact. She's still fixated on us though. Twice she tried reaching out from prison through inmates who had been released. Both times it was reported, and she lost privileges. Her lawyer once contacted us about a possible appeal, but nothing came of it. Jasmine, the colleague who stood by us through everything, stayed in touch. She was promoted to head nurse not long after. Funny how removing a toxic presence makes everything better. Detective Morrison from the FBI checked in recently. He told us Veronica was denied early release because she continues to show no remorse and remains fixated on us. She won't be eligible again for another 3 years. Even knowing she's locked up, I still catch myself scanning crowds, checking the locks twice, or looking over my shoulder for her face. Trauma lingers in strange ways. But our life now is quiet, steady, and good. The biggest arguments we have are about what to watch on Netflix, and I wouldn't trade that peace for anything. Veronica once said to me, "You'll regret not choosing me." I told her, "We'll see." Well, we saw. My only regrets are not choosing Isabel sooner, not trusting my instincts about Veronica earlier, and not documenting everything from the very beginning. If anyone reading this is in a similar situation, please listen. If someone won't accept no, take it seriously. Write everything down. Report everything. Don't wait and hope it goes away, because it won't. Choose the person who brings peace, not chaos. And one last piece of advice, probably best not to date siblings. Trust me on that. That's it from me. Thanks for following this painful, surreal journey. I hope none of you ever need this kind of advice. Stay safe. Nolan.